Good morning. This is Ashley from the Laid Back Homeschooler, here to talk to you about homeschool classrooms. Are they necessary? They are either some of the fun part of homeschooling or they can be the bane of your existence. Homeschool classrooms can be like this. It's a mess. They could look like this. You could homeschool here. You could homeschool here. Or if you had to, you could even homeschool here. I've done it. Are you feeling like you're in green eggs and ham yet? So pretty much you can homeschool here or there, or you could homeschool anywhere. Please don't unfollow me. Really, one of the things that draws some people to homeschool is that flexibility of being able to do it anywhere. Because of that, you don't have to have a special space set up like I do. But some people, particularly if they are coming to homeschooling as a direct result of the pandemic, and so sorry, if they're coming to homeschooling as a direct result of the pandemic and they are having to take a crash course in what this whole thing is supposed to look like, where to homeschool their kids and what that space should look like can be incredibly stressful because a lot of people think that they have to recreate a classroom setting because surely there's a reason that public school classrooms are set up the way that they are with, chalkboards or dry erase boards, motivational posters, educational posters, bright colors, school desks. There's got to be a reason that they're set up like that, doesn't there? Yeah, there is, but just because there's a reason for public school classrooms to be set up that way doesn't mean that it's necessary for homeschooling. What do you need to have to homeschool your kids? You need to have a space for them to work. That's it. You saw me show you my dining room table. That is where the bulk of my homeschool education took place, at our dining room table. And our dining room was decorated like a dining room. It didn't have educational posters or little motivational sayings or sight words taped to everything in the kitchen. It was just our dining room. Now, having said that, you do need to take your individual kids into consideration. All three of my girls are very different students. My oldest can pretty much block out any kind of external stimuli and do what she needs to do. She prefers to have a quiet environment, but she can stay in her desk in our schoolroom, even sharing that space with her siblings who are at different grade levels and who I might be teaching or, out loud. Or, maybe they're taking a spelling test or something like that. She can pretty much block that out and keep doing what she needs to do. My youngest daughter is on the opposite end of the spectrum. She has ADHD and she has a very hard time blocking out external stimuli, even with her medicine. So she needs to be someplace quiet to do her work. And she'll ask her sisters to please be more quiet if she's working. Or I may need to move her to a different room. If we're working in the schoolroom, I may need to let her come work at the dining room where there's less noise, or work in the dining room where there's less noise. My middle daughter prefers quiet. She doesn't have to have it, but she will seek it out if at all possible. She likes to go do her reading on the front porch away from everybody else, where she can sit outside and have the fresh air and the sunshine and read her book. So it depends a lot on the needs and sometimes with the preferences of your students. There are days that, for example, that she can't go outside and do her reading, like if the weather's really bad and she just has to deal with it reading inside. And I do think that that's important and healthy for them to learn that, you're not always going to have the ideal environment to do what you need to do, but you need to develop the habit and the fortitude to be able to do what you have to do even in less than ideal circumstances. So do I try to accommodate their needs and their preferences? Yes, but at the same time, I also am not going to bend over backwards to make sure they have exactly the learning environment that they want, because that does build character. As corny as that sounds, it does build character. It teaches them that things aren't always going to be perfect, and sometimes they have to deal with less than perfect circumstances. The second thing that I say to new homeschoolers when we're talking about the subject of homeschool classrooms is Pinterest with care. Pinterest can make you think that you have to have some gorgeous classroom to homeschool successfully. And even if you don't think that you have to have it, Pinterest can make you really want to just go out and buy the paint and the new furniture and the rugs and all of these things to make this beautiful classroom. First of all, it doesn't stay that way. There are kids and they mess it up. But do Pinterest with caution, because it can give you unrealistic expectations of what you can do or even what you need. So let's say you do want to do a little bit more than just seat all your kids at the dining room table and let them do their thing. If you want to and are able to have a nice separate homeschool space, which in the home that we're in now, we are, and we really enjoy that. Dollar Tree is a fantastic place to get everything from decor to educational posters. They are my go-to place. Things like dry erase boards or chalkboards, you can find used on yard sale sites like or Facebook Marketplace. You can ask your teacher friends how they decorate their classroom. Again, Pinterest, super fun place to come up with ideas for how to decorate or what to decorate with. You may have noticed in our classroom, I have a couple of educational posters up. Usually the stuff I put up is to help with math. I do have some reading stuff, but we haven't needed to use it yet. We've got like flags of different countries around the room. That cute little wall clock that you saw is just a cheap little clock I got from Walmart. I think it may have been $5-10. And the petals, stem, leaves, all of that to teach telling time, all that I got off of Pinterest, and it was super easy to make. So lots of fun ideas there if you can Pinterest with a dose of reality. And while it's not specifically classroom related, one thing that I do require my kids to do that helps with our school day far more than what our classroom looks like is I do require them to dress for the day. Every morning they have to get up, get dressed, brush their hair, brush their teeth, and they look put together when they come to school. I've had a couple different direct sales jobs, and in the training for those, that was one thing that they really stressed was, you know what, you are working from home, but dress as if you are going to work, because it really does do something to your mind. You feel more put together, so you're ready to work. And especially with pandemic homeschooling, that's one thing that I would say to be cautious of. Again, not a requirement, but one thing that I have found to be true for our family in particular. Now that everybody is working virtually, working from home, not working virtually, excuse me. But since they're working from home, we're doing virtual school, things like that. It's kind of become this big thing, half joking, like no one cares if you're wearing pants. Okay, well, they might not be able to see that, but it does affect your mindset. If you are lounging around the house in your pajamas all day, you're not at your most productive. And if you are a rare one. So that is one thing that I do require in our classroom, is that everybody be all the way put together, hair fixed, teeth brushed, we're clean, we're ready to start working, and we work as if we were in a public school classroom. Well, that's all I've got for you today on the subject of the homeschool classroom. If you have any questions, comments, please remember to put those in the comments for me. I'll be looking at those. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you can get all of our latest content. And I will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.